Hey guys, it's BiotrixSuperShrinkerUK here, and I'm recording my 4 weeks post-op video. So let's do this. Let's talk about what life is like 4 weeks out. So I spoke to my dietitians yesterday and the Biotrix team, and they were really pleased when they called me for me to be able to say that I'm making my protein intake goals every day. They were really pleased that it's on the top end of it most of the time too for my goal park. So I was told when I had my surgery that they wanted me to consume at least 60 grams of protein a day, and that was kind of a sympathy goal because they know how hard it is for people and how tricky it is for them to make that goal each day. And they told me that actually what we really want you to consume is about 90 grams of protein a day. So I have been trying my best to make that as often as I can and anywhere in the middle. And so far I have managed to successfully do that every day bar one, which was in the very early stages when I was really poorly. And I think that was about day 9 or day 10. Food 4 weeks post-surgery is developing all of the time. Thankfully, the options are starting to evolve, and I'm getting excited because it's starting to look and feel more like actually eating and consuming things. So 4 weeks out, I'm now allowed to have things that I can squish with a fork. If it squishes with a fork, then I'm going to be able to most likely consume it. So things like a strawberry, for instance, in its entirety is absolutely fine as long as you can squish it with that fork. So that's lovely, especially as we have things like grapes and tayberries and blackberries and things like that growing in the garden, which is really lovely. And yesterday was the hottest day on record ever. Even the night time last night recorded 35 Celsius. Just crazy. So it's not helping being able to get enough fluids in. I find that, so personally, when it's hot and I'm not drinking enough, I tend to swell up more. My hands start to swell up more. That's how I tend to notice more than anything. I wake up sometimes not being able to close my hands through the swelling. So that can be really, really tricky. And also it affects the scales. And as much as you tell yourself that there's this reason and that reason, and yes, I'm constipated, and yes, there's swelling, and you know, perhaps I'm not drinking enough, and all these things, it still disheartens you when you step on the scales and they haven't dropped like you want them to. So let's talk about weight loss. This week I have dropped. So that's great. Obviously it's a loss. I'm happy with that. So there's been a couple of scares. One of the scares has been the fact that my movements haven't been happening still. And when they finally did happen, it was black. So eventually when the movements did happen, I was quite worried, as you can understand. You know, you have a Google and it's like bleed, 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 blood, blood, blood. And typically from the stomach. Through having a little dig and having a look, I found out that iron supplements also make your stools black. So my first month post-op, I have lost 13 pounds.